Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd. Today we're talking about Deep Space Nine and Crossfire. The plot is around the First Minister of Bajor, who's coming to Deep Space Nine to negotiate with the Federation on Federation membership. That's hardly mentioned in this episode. It is just the backdrop in which the story develops. We know that there's a special friendship between Kira and Odo, and it's indicated here that Odo has desires to make it more than a friendship, and it's put in sharp relief when Kira becomes involved with the First Minister. She had known him during the revolutionary times, had served under him as a soldier, and had always thought of him as a very good friend, but it became much more serious once he came on the station. And that's bothering Odo, and it's something that's unusual for Odo even to himself, to the point to where even Worf outshines him at one point, who is put on temporary security duty as the regular Starfleet security person is on leave. However, what we have here of interest is not so much a love triangle, but something about Odo and unspoken things. He and Kira would have a meeting every morning, every Tuesday morning, I think perhaps, that would have a rundown of all of the criminal activity on board, just basically a security briefing. And he would make very certain that everything was nice and tidy, that her favorite coffee drink was ready for her when she came into his office. And they also point out that Odo's quarters are right above Quark's. Not Quark's bar, but Quark's quarters. And having much more sensitive hearing than most, Ferengi are a little more sensitive to noises, especially the noises that he makes being over Quark's quarters. It is made known that he actually picked those quarters in order to be right above Quark just so he could irritate him. And this goes to the unspoken relationship between Odo and Quark. Now, they're often at odds on things, but they know each other so very well. Obviously, Quark has studied Odo to figure out how he can work around him in some of his business dealings, and Odo, by the same token, has studied Quark very carefully in order to be able to anticipate what kind of shenanigans he's going to be up to. And they've developed into an understanding that perhaps does not make them enemies or friends, but somewhere in between the word frenemies comes to mind. And in a situation to where Odo is very downstruck by realizing that Kira is in a relationship with the First Minister, that he makes such a racket that Quark comes up to complain, finds out that he's in bad shape, and provides sympathy. And Odo says, "I don't want your sympathy," and Quark says, "Well, no, your current state of mind is affecting my business. We gamble on how many people you catch in a week, and this is throwing off all the odds." And one of my favorite lines in the episode is where Odo says, after all of this exchange to Quark, for a minute there, I thought that you were being like a friend. And Quark pauses for a beat and says, "Nah." But the fact of the matter is that they do, if not admire each other, do have feelings for each other to a point to where they would never admit it, but they do this elaborate dance to basically say, no, I couldn't stand the guy, but I might just risk my life for him. So, interesting thing, and it's not unknown in other things. Casablanca comes to mind, where Rick and the prefect of police do this same little dance to where both of them know what the truth is but can't say it out loud. And so they talk around things. And it's the same way that they have this relationship between Quark and Odo. And it's rather interesting. In the meantime, his relationship with Kira is one of awkwardness now, and he doesn't want to affect her happiness, but he really wishes that she would understand his feelings without him having to tell her, which he won't. So it's a complicated little dance that's done around the characters this time, and I think they play it very well. Obviously, Kira is completely in the dark about Odo's feelings for her other than friendship. And Odo is completely in the dark of how to actually work around his feelings and still work with Kira. And it's not resolved at the end of the episode, which I give credit to the writers on this, that they didn't just tie it up in a nice, neat package. It's something to stop and make you think about things. And I mean, everybody's been in relationships or wanted to be in relationships, and some of them worked and some of them didn't. And how you deal with that, it speaks well to the acting talents of Renee Auberjonois, of course, of Nana Visitor and Armin Shimmerman in this episode. So, I'd like to know what you think. Please put it in the comments below. We read most of them, or read all of them, and answer most of them if we can. And we'll be back next week with another review on Babylon 5 and another on Deep Space Nine about this time next week. So until then, thank you for watching, and don't go far.